Welcome back. Another episode of Unfuck My Startup. This is formerly the Inbound-led Outbound Workshop. We have renamed it in an effort to continue to grow our media and just create interesting content for everybody. So, as you know, you might recognize me. I'm Pete Crowley. I'm the head of growth at RB2B. I also run the RB2B Insiders community. Adam is here. We are currently at the retention/RB2B offsite in Mexico. That's why the background's different. That's why Adam's not here. He's with the rest of the team doing a bunch of great stuff, connecting. We're remote orgs. This stuff is very important. Thank you all for joining during the new hours. This is specifically a reschedule just for today. We'll be back to our normal time next week. Just because of our offsite, we have some more content stuff going on today, and that's the explanation for that. That's the true of it. So without further ado, today's episode, we're diving into what I believe is really the most underutilized outreach tactic, which is video. I am still stunned. I met Bethany a year ago and I told her that exact same thing. And my assumption was that by this time, 1 year later, my inbox, my LinkedIn inbox, my email was going to be flooded with videos, high quality videos. And yet here we are, people still not underutilizing the tactic. I still just get crushed with these auto bot emails. I swear I am an elite mark as read go-to-market guy where I can sniff out a sales email from a mile away. But these videos are incredible. So today joining us, the founder, CEO of Sendspark, a great video platform, Bethany Stachenfeld. Bethany, thank you for joining.
Amazing. Hey everyone, I'm happy to be here.
Well, great. So we're gonna change up the order of the show a little bit today. So I'll let you guys know what that is. Usually we do the pitch slap, the 2-minute pitch, where someone will call someone up. They'll pitch their business in 2 minutes. We'll have a running poll where people say yes or no if they would buy it. And we'll try to get them to book a demo live. We're actually going to do that at the end. Okay. Reason being, we are trying to make this a better show, more geared for YouTube as well for the recordings. It's a new order that we're trying out. We will also be doing the Unfuck My Startup segments, the namesake of the show, at the half-hour mark. Now, to participate in either of these, we will call up one person to participate in each of the segments. Folks, beforehand, just to let you know, we will require your camera to be on. So if you want to participate, do your hair right now, clean your room, put your camera on, do all the stuff you need to do. And we will do that at the half-hour mark. But Bethany has prepared quite a great show for everybody. So I think without further ado, Bethany, let's start getting into the story of Sendspark and sort of all things video. Bethany has some great workflows for us to go through. And I think you're going to leave with a much better understanding of an outreach tactic that, again, I believe is super underutilized. So Bethany, let's get started.
Cool. Should I start with an intro? Or
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, okay. a little story about you, Sendspark, when you started, all that good stuff would be great.
Okay, amazing. Hey everyone, I started Sendspark actually with my co-founder. We're normally remote, but he is next to me, so I'm going to put him on camera for a second. So my co-founder Brandon and I worked together for 3 years at starting Sendspark, and my mic's still good. And we are doing just a lot of growth and trying to reach out to people, build the business. My title's always been marketing, but at a startup, like I was like your Pete doing like everything we could on the go-to-market side. And we found that video converted really well when we were sending it in emails. Like it was by far the best like go-to-market tactic we were doing. We were trying to like double down on it, but there was so much friction in the process of like creating individual personalized emails for like videos for every person we're reaching out to, where like Brandon was creating these custom thumbnails. We were trying to record one so they'd be personal. And it just seemed like a huge like gap in the space that you can easily create email templates and send personalized emails out at scale. And there's like 100 different platforms to do that. But when it comes to video, all of the alternatives are very manual and one-to-one. So we started Sendspark as a way to really create dynamic videos so you could use them for your marketing automation, your sales prospecting, and other types of email outreach. That was like 6 years ago, before AI was even a thing. So the things we've been personalizing the platform on have changed a lot. And as of a year ago, we added AI name personalization, and we're cloning your voice and doing a lot to help you personalize at scale. So it's been really cool to keep that marketing automation focus, but just incorporate all this new tech to build the company.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's super interesting too that like you got the tailwind of you got the AI sort of revolution in there, because I mean, I was using some of the video platforms before AI, and I'm still stunned that like even the one-to-one videos beforehand didn't take off, and here we are with this incredible capability. So yeah, excited to show everyone that.
And it's cool how it keeps evolving. Like even last week, we made an update to the voice cloning where like I'm comparing now the videos from like last week and the week before them. Like it's so much better even now. So it's really cool to be like on the up and up with this space as it evolves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're in like the ultimate go-to-market medium. Well, I'm excited to show everybody all of this stuff. Why don't we hop into like the what you have prepared for everybody?
Okay. So I'm going to go into the automation.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, guys, what I wanted to show today is really our process for converting website visitors that uses a mix of like the RB2B to identify website visitors. And then we're creating personalized videos and we're sending email sequences out. And I'll go into the details of exactly how we have this set up and what we've automated versus what we're personalizing. One thing I want to start with before doing that is like the why. And I feel like a lot of people I talk to, a lot of founders I talk to are really focused on like cold outbound sales. And maybe just the fact that you're in RB2B's community, you're not, and you've already moved past that point. But it just, I think there's no reason to do cold outbound until you've done the important stuff on the inbound side, because it's just so much easier. Your sales processes are so much faster. You already have like credibility when you're reaching out to people, they know who you are, and just it's like totally apples to orange. And I think it's kind of crazy that most people start doing cold first because it seems easier, but like you're just creating a much harder sales process. So if you're not doing this, like this is probably the lowest hanging fruit that you can spend an hour setting up that's going to dramatically enhance your business. So.
I completely agree. This is the place to start. All right. And by the way, this can be used in so many different strategies. We're simply doing the RB2B example because that's our company. But this can be like you'll clearly see where you can use this in other use cases and with other platforms. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So I'm going to walk through what we do. So basically, the concept behind this is what I'm going to show you how to do what we're doing. And I created like a demo version to show as well. But what you want to do is use RB2B to identify everyone. So if you're using HubSpot or like your CRM, they're identified and then you're able to like track what they do after that point. But like you've tagged them, you now know who they are in your website. Then you want to qualify down to the ideal customer persona who you actually want to talk to. Wait and listen for them to do key triggers that indicate you should reach out to them. And then you want to send really good emails, which my opinion have videos. So I'm going to show you how we're writing the videos and exactly what how we're writing the emails and what the videos are saying and showing. And just keep in mind, like,
that's another important part of what's coming is you actually showing us exactly what's been working. So yeah, I forgot to add that part of like, yeah.
Yeah. And we've been tweaking this. Like I'm going to show you what we have now. And like, this has been, how long have we been using RB2B? Probably like 6 months. So we keep like tweaking and refining this. And this like sequence I'm showing you, like real screenshot from our head of revenue who we used exactly this and we got a $8,500 deal in 2.5 weeks. So like, that's just really fast. Like it's not our biggest deal, but normally to get like a deal around like 10K, it's taking us like 6 weeks, at least, usually closer to 3 months. And this was like 2.5 weeks because we were able to catch them when they're on the website. So, and again, it's just so easy to automate, or at least automate most of, so you may as well do it.
And you're also hitting a high intent lead with a high intent, or like a high impact activity, which is super important. Like people will come to RB2B, they'll identify visitors, people who have revisited their site multiple times, and then they'll send them the super generic cold email. And I'm like, this is one of your hottest leads. Like give them some impact, show them that you care about them. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my tidbit.
And actually the subject, the title for the slide used to be like, make the most of your hottest leads, but it was too long. So I made it shorter, but exactly. It's like, these are your hottest leads, like pull out all the stops, like close them.
I hear. Yeah.
You've already done the work to get them to your website. So, okay, this is the process. So hopefully you guys have done this already. Start by putting the RB2B snippet on your website to track everyone, assuming you're using HubSpot. And I know you guys have focused on HubSpot. Just make sure you have the integration on so that you're sending your leads into HubSpot. I would also do the Slack channel too, because it's nice to keep an eye on it, but it's a lot of noise in the Slack channel. And so you really want to make sure you have things going into HubSpot and your CRM where you can track everything, right? And then I'm going to say I recommend it. This is what we're doing. If you do your own thing, you're more than welcome to. But what I'd recommend doing is then making a list of your of the website visitors coming from RB2B in HubSpot. And one thing that's different than how I used to recommend people do this is you actually don't even need to have RB2B as any of the filters here, because you're tagging people. And so they're tracked in RB2B, but you actually might just do this time last seen less than 7 days ago, which will include RB2B. But also, let's say you tagged them to RB2B 6 months ago, and then they came back again. This is going to keep it fresh. So you're always seeing the high intent people when they're on your website. And then you want to filter out people that you don't want to talk to. The way that I have started to do this for all of our HubSpot automation is I make a list of bad fit users that are people we don't want to talk to. And then that way it's really easy to just use this list everywhere when you're making filters. So you don't have to be oh, I don't want to talk to XYZ job title and try to think of all those on the spot. Just you have your list of qualification, that's a different list. And then you can filter it out, filter out your current customers. And then of course you want to filter out current customers, anyone in your sales process, anyone you don't want to be automatically reaching out to. And I do think I talked to Pete a little bit about this beforehand of what should be automated or not automated. The way I think about this is your end goal is to automate everything. But if you start that way, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to embarrass yourself. You don't want to start by automating everything, but try to set this up in a way that if you're right, you will be able to automate it in 2 to 4 weeks. So really try to filter out the bad people you don't want to talk to, filter out your current customers and salespeople, try to get this really good. And then kind of do it manually over the next few days. So you can check your automation, check your filters, and keep refining this until you fully put it on blast.
Huge point there. I think when folks are starting out, especially in the sort of the AI era where automate everything is really the narrative, I agree with you. That's the end goal. But if you're just starting out, the way to truly do customer discovery is going to be these very manual processes where you're reaching out to people manually. Honestly, sending videos is a great way to have a high impact manual activity. And once you've validated that works, that's where the automation comes in. One question I had on here on the list membership piece, I just want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly, and hopefully everybody else. So those bad fit users, is that a active list that you have in HubSpot, which the enrollment of that list is basically run through other workflows? Is that the way that's set up?
Yeah. So the way it works is bad fit could be a title that we don't want to talk to. They're not bad people, but it'd be students or people that we just, it's not a fit for our sales process. Because with these emails, we're trying to book sales meetings, and you don't want to talk to every person who visits your website. That's not necessarily the best use of sales time. So it's just an active list with anything that could catch people that we don't want to talk to before we spend sales time on them.
Yep. Lovely. I like that.
One of my goals here, by the way, has actually been to then create a separate flow that's people that we don't want to talk to, but we do want to go self-service in a Sendspark and set that up. I keep forgetting to do it, but maybe this will be my reminder. I'm gonna do that today too. Because you don't always want to talk to everyone, but you might want to just be hey, here's a little bit more, sign up and go self-service.
Yeah, right? Like kind of cherry picking and lead qualifying who's going to be a PLG person versus kind of in the sales motion. That's really great. We don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Akshar asked about video email deliverability. I'll actually get to this later, but I'm going to show you the sequence that you can use that should not negatively impact deliverability. We're going to do a few things to make sure that that you'll get good deliverability. Like we're going to send the video in the second step in the sequence. And also remember, like, these are not necessarily cold leads, like they're warmer leads. So the engagement should already be like fairly high. And so if you have like good engagement on good emails, like email deliverability should be good. Unless, you're really doing some bad things.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Especially if you're being a little more picky about who you're sending to, like, the deliverability, the inbox warming up, the inbox rotation, all that's for like super, super high volume. If you're sending legit stuff, you don't really have to worry about that quite yet, depending on where you're at. So great question, though, Akshay.
And actually a bonus item I had. So if this sounds scary to you, forget about it. You don't need to do it. But if you really want to optimize, like you can enrich using Clay or another tool to get additional criteria to filter down to your ideal customer persona. So like, for example, since part of Sendspark's business, we sell based on how many seats you would have, like on the sales team is one of our pricing levers. We like to enrich for the number of people the company has in sales. And then we'll use that to like filter further. So you might actually want to use Clay or use a data enrichment tool to like further enrich your leads and then filter down even more. So the goal of this isn't to do high volume sending. The goal is to like really take out, use the best for the best people.
Love it. High impact activities for high intent leads. I want to like get that tattooed on my face so people can like stop just automate. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll continue.
I love it. Okay. So we're going to qualify. And then another step was waiting and listening. So basically you have you're tracking everyone who's on your website. You're filtering down to the people you want to talk to. And then you might want to wait for like, what is really the best time? And this could be maybe you only want to talk to people after they've seen a certain number of pages, after they've visited your pricing page, after they've done something, that like really makes them worth talking to. And this is kind of up to you. Like I could see not having this at all. I mean, like, I just want to talk to everyone. Or if you have kind of too much and it's not always what you want to handle, then you could filter more and more. So, I just want to say this because I know a lot of people do it, are really successful. We actually don't. We're just kind of reaching out to everyone. We're filtering more based on the customer filters. And we're just saying a website visit's great, but I know other people like to be more specific about like, I'm going to wait till they visit the pricing page. Now we're going to reach out because then they're super, super hot.
Yes, definitely. That's what we found. So just a little anecdote on that from what I've seen on RB2B. If you're an RB2B user, or you can take my word for it too, but if you set up the hot page filter and the hot lead filter, you'll see that when you go to the hot pages, if you've marked your high intent pages, like the pricing page to get a demo, all of a sudden everybody is tagged as both a hot lead and a hot page, because like your ICP visitors are doing far more research than the non-ICP visitors, who seem to be hitting the site and then leaving. So just a little anecdote on to emphasize the importance of what you just said, Bethany, of like really, really zoning into those pages.
Yeah. And like one way to think about this too might be, what is your like, start simple, like don't filter for it, but then see what your reply rate is. And if it's not like 5 to 10%, which I know is higher than normal, but again, these are like, should be your hot leads, then add those filters and really only reach people by hot pages. Cause you don't want to like lose your opportunity by reaching out too soon if you should be waiting till they visit the hot pages. So I'd say like, that's maybe how to think about it. Start simple, look for your reply rate. If it's too low, then start narrowing it down and making sure you're hitting people at the right time.
That makes a ton of sense. Love that.
Okay. So I'm going to show our email sequence in the next slide. Now there's one thing. So we do say, saw you on our website, but that's because we sell an AI tool to salespeople. And so they think it's really cool. They're like, oh my God, how'd you do it? But if I sold like into healthcare or like finance, I would not say that. So just keep in mind, who is your audience? Are they going to find it creepy? There's a good argument for like, if it feels random, they'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. I was just on your website. So like tweak this to match your customers. Oh, and someone asked about comparing this against phone calls and voice calling. Well, actually, I'll talk about that later. Great question. But okay, so I'm going to show you our sequence. Keep in mind, you may or may not want to say saw you on the website.
Yeah.
So this is what
Roger
we're saying.
said doesn't
Yeah.
work well with attorneys. Also, cybersecurity folks. I think we can all make our own judgment here, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Or even sometimes people in Europe would be like, who are you? European are like, oh, you can't track this. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know. Somehow you came up.
Yeah.
So this is our email. So we're sending this from our head of revenue. So it's like, Ben here, VP of revenue, saw you checking on the web. First one's just plain text, asking if they want a demo and suggesting what a time work for you. We're not sending any links in this, right? So for the person who asked about email deliverability, I'd say first email, just keep it simple, no images, no links, just try to get in the inbox. And then the second email, we're replying to the first and we're including the video. And since we're replying to the first, the idea is since we're already in the inbox, it's going to show up there as well. For the video content, and I'll show you more of this in the next slide, the way I would think about it is like, why are they on your website to begin with? Are they doing an evaluation and comparing you against a competitor, in which you might want to address that and be like, hey, when people are looking at us, competitors, they often ask how we're different. Here's the main reason we're different. Let me show you this in 20 seconds and then add the video, or in like 2 minutes. But you kind of should know about like what people are looking for when they're trying to make a sale. Like for us, we're in a competitive industry, so that's the key thing. For others, it might be like, oh, they might want to know if we integrate with HubSpot or whatever. But like, you want to give one thing that's like a true teaser. That's something they genuinely want to know. So you're giving them value, and it's just a teaser. You're not trying to give them the whole product demo. You want them to book a meeting, but you're giving them a bit of value to know that you're worth taking the next step. And then the last, I would just do like a bump to follow up. And I also would keep this really short. Like, this is not the time to do an 11-step sequence because they're already checking you out. Like, you don't want them to unsubscribe. You don't want them to annoy them. And if the timing's not good, it'd be better to like reach out with 3 emails now and then reach out again in 3 months with 3 more emails versus like hitting them with a, 11-step now. Cause this isn't cold. This is warm and the relationship matters.
I especially like that too, because like I get, I don't know, a dozen emails a day asking me to book a demo. And the info that you can deliver in a few sentences, of course, is very limited. And usually when I read these emails, I'm like, okay, great, you're going to boost my X by, 50%. But being able to actually embed a little bit of how it works and relieve some of that curiosity immediately before they respond back to you, I think is like a crazy cool tactic. And I mean, it clearly shows in the stats. So I think that's awesome, especially on that follow-up email.
Yeah. Yeah. Like so many benefits. They feel like they know you. When you talk to them, it feels like you're helping them. It feels like, especially if they're comparing you against competitors, you're the one that's sending the video and they're like, oh, cool. Oh, you're roping them in.
Imagine being the one salesperson who actually gets FaceTime with the lead before you book something. Like, that's a humongous advantage. Even if you're not competing against other people, just competing against the noise of other sales messages that come through someone's inbox, which is really what we're talking about at that stage. So anyway, it's awesome.
Okay, so a few more tips on the video. So I'm gonna obviously focus on like Sendspark here. But if you use a different platform, just kind of tweak to how it would work for you. But what I'd recommend doing is use the AI name personalization feature to add people's voice, like to add people's first names to your voice. You have one video and then you're just using AI to personalize every person. And then I'd recommend starting with a dynamic intro. So you're showing something that's like personalized to them, like their website, their LinkedIn profile, something that's going to stand out and catch their attention in the inbox. And then you stitch that intro with that like 1 to 2 minute demo of that key thing. That's like how you're different than competitors, or, an integration, like whatever, is kind of your flashiest, most exciting thing. And just like a little teaser of it, and then add your calendar to book a demo. So I'm going to show you this example video that we're sending. And one thing I also want to call out, like, this is something Ben on our team made like really quickly. Like, if you look at this, it's not like the highest quality video in the world, but it's just like, we made a video, we're sending it out, and then we keep tweaking it. And even this converts really well. So it's not like it has to be something you sweat over for a week. Like, just record and send, and the more personal, the better.
I
I'm going
think
to try to play it. No,
that is such a big point. Like, I think video intimidates people because people don't want to record themselves, watch it back, and then iterate on it. Like, it's kind of an uncomfortable process. But like as you said, just you don't record the first one as if you're not going to send it out at all, and then you'll kind of demystify the whole process for yourself. But yes, let's do this. Yeah.
okay. So let me know if you can't hear it with a sound.
Hey, Adam. Saw you checking out the Sendspark website and wanted to send you a video just saying hi and introducing you to a little bit about what we're working on at Sendspark. Sendspark's enabled your teams to send highly personalized videos at scale, and companies like Quiller and Warmly have seen up to 3x reply rate increases through the use of the tool. Stick around. In the next part of the video, I'm going to show you exactly how the platform works. I've also included my calendar booking before link below. So if you'd like to be in another platform, please book time on my calendar. Cheers. Okay, so this is the Sendspark platform. I'm going to walk you through how we're able to get your reps to send personalized videos at scale to build pipeline and improve open rates and reply rates. So historically, video has been very manual to do. Tools like Loom and Vidyard, one-to-one videos takes up a lot of time. What Sendspark enables you to do is record one video, personalize it at scale through the use of AI. How we do that, we get them to come into our platform, record one initial video.
I won't show the whole demo because I'm going to show you guys how to make the videos in Sendspark. But you can kind of see like he has a little intro. He's like, the main reason we're different than Vidyard and Loom is that we can create personalized videos at scale. And then he does a little tour of how it is. And I'd say like this could be better. Like he could be more concise. It could be shorter. There's more that could be better, but the important thing is that we have it up, we're sending it, and it's working. And so I'd say, think of it the same way. If this is the one we're sending, like you could probably do better.
That's great.
And
that too is so great. Like that really wins people's attention for the demo. It's like it really, I mean, looks like you took the time to actually research, and you're reaching out to a specific person for a specific reason, and it's not the spam cannon as we call them. Yeah, it's great.
100%. Can I share? Do I have a way to message the whole group too? Because I would paste this link in too if you want to see it, but I don't know if I do.
Yeah, you should be able to click, if you click at where it says to, you should be able to switch from hosts and panelists to everyone and drop the LinkedIn. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
We're in there. All right.
Okay, so that's our video. And then what I'll show you now is I'll show you how you can create AI personalized videos like the one that Ben's sending out. And then I'll also show you how to automate a lot of this process in HubSpot. So basically what you could do is say like someone has met our lead criteria, like their qualified customer, we're waiting for the trigger, automatically generate the video, enroll them in a sequence. And then I'm also going to show you how you can set this up in a way that if you wanted to easily pull anyone from the automation, like there's going to be a manual approval. So you can kind of be like, do I want to change anything? Nope, let it ride. So you're automating a lot of the process, but you're still accounting for the fact that automation may not be perfect. That's the end goal, but not necessarily what we want to do today.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's going to be a epic part 2. I think this is a good place to do the unfuck my startup section. So what I would love for folks to do, if you are stuck for one reason or another, your business is stuck, you have halted growth, you don't know what to do, and you want advice from myself and Bethany, who have both done 0 to 1, and also the rest of the attendees, to drop in feedback, raise your hand. We're going to promote you to a panelist. Please have your camera on. Only raise your hand if you can have your camera on. And we'll drop like in the link for your website too. So if folks want to book a demo with you or check out your product, we can do that. So if there's anyone who would like to come up and pitch their business and get some advice from the panelists and the attendees, please raise your hand. Anyone who want to drop into the chat too, you can just say, hey, I'm ready. Usually we have quite a few people ready to do this. Maybe we roasted someone too hard last week and it's a little scary, but we'll send you some swag as well. We'll send you like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or something of our new branding if you come in and hop into the fire seat. Is anyone up for it? Jordan R. Jordan, we're promoting you to a panelist. And Jordan, beforehand, so I'm going to have a few questions for you. Step one, if you could just drop your URL for your website right into the chat. Okay, that's all right. Just we'll have you join voice. Oh no, Jordan. No, that was a different person. I think. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. All right, Jordan. We're promoting you, and in the meantime, if you could drop in your URL. And let me know when you want me to start the timer too. All right, tracktile.io. So Jordan, we're going to give you a couple minutes. Is he here?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, what's up, Jordan? Good to see you.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Where are you calling?
Nice to meet you too.
Well, actually, we got the timer. Tell us about Tractile first. We'll do all the stuff after.
Sounds good. I'm the CEO of a company called Tractile. We are a manufacturing platform, software platform for the food and beverage industry. We target small to medium-sized food and beverage manufacturers across North America. We help them understand their operation, automate certain workflows, get full end-to-end traceability in the production process, and really just get access to cost-effective, configurable software that doesn't cost a fortune. You don't need consultants, and you can get started right away. That is us at the core.
Cool. When did you launch?
2019, went out full time in 2022.
Okay. And how many employees do you have?
We have 14.
Okay. And then, so where are you at right now? Do you feel like you've found product market fit? Do you feel like you had traction before and you've lost it?
We have great conversations, keeping people on cold calls for upwards of 20 minutes, having a chat. We're getting people's kind of jaws dropping when we do the demo, but demand generation and getting people to top of funnel is incredibly difficult and a bit of a slog. Sales cycle is longer as well, sometimes going 9 to 12 months, but we've closed deals in 24 hours.
Okay. What's the thing that's causing them to be on the phone for 20 minutes on cold call? I mean, that's exceptional.
Yeah, the landscape and regulatory changes and complexity around manufacturing, it's definitely a problem. And we're standing on the shoulders of giants like NetSuite and SAP, kind of the ERPs of the world, but we're coming in with a more simplified solution for the small guys. So the problem's there. It's just getting and having more conversations.
Okay. And what's your current demand generation tactics that you're using? You're using cold email, paid ads?
Entirely cold outbound. We're doing a few thousand cold calls a month.
2,000 cold calls. Okay. One thing I'm noticing from your website, I think that's the timer. Oh, that's the timer music. Did everyone hear that? That's crazy. I thought it was like the Star Wars ride in Disney World. Do you feel like it takes a while for people to understand what you do when you start talking about it, or do you feel like they understand the message pretty simply?
They understand the message pretty simply, and that is because we come from a manufacturing background and we're able to speak to them in their language. They know the challenges in their day-to-day operations, and they see the software as a benefit.
Okay. And so you're getting most of your folks from cold calls. Have you tried other tactics? Have you tried video, email, LinkedIn? Have you tried like getting into a forum where these people live? Or has it just been gunning cold calls?
We have sent a handful of kind of Loom videos if the proposal meeting doesn't get booked, but it's just been straight up cold outbound, a little bit of LinkedIn content creation. We've just been so heads down with what has worked to get us sales. But it's not going to get us to where we need to go.
I have a hypothesis here that I'm going to give you, and I would love to hear Bethany's thoughts too. So cold calls are working for you. You're having really long conversations, which is great. I go to your website, and granted, I'm not in your industry, but I think that's slightly less important. There's a lot of like kind of generic speak on here that isn't specific to the benefit that is that the food manufacturers would actually be getting. I'm hypothesizing that maybe some of your written content is not landing, from emails to paid ads to LinkedIn posts to website visitors. And that's why the cold calls are completely smashing. So there might be some translation there that is just like, it's not as clear and concise on the written form of your outbound. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing on the website, but I feel like if you really dial that in and have a way to deliver that impact that you are on the cold calls. I know it can be done in written, like you can write anything down. It just, when you're talking about writing, it's almost like writing a headline or a song. It's like the copy is so sensitive. Like the difference between copy that works and copy that doesn't work, it's like almost the same exact thing. It's just one has half the word count and twice the specificity in terms of benefits. So that's my read on what's going on, and I would challenge you to run through that. I'll send you an email afterwards with a little bit more specificity on this. But Bethany, I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts.
So without knowing like much about the space, I'd say one idea that I picked up on, you mentioned that there's changes in regulation in the industry. If that's something that you think people might be searching for, there's a good opportunity to create YouTube videos around it. Like I feel like SEO has kind of been destroyed by AI and like who knows what's going on there. But one hack that we found works really well is you create like YouTube videos that are specifically about the keywords people are looking for, and they can show up on that video section of Google in like the first day. So if you feel like demand's the issue, if you call people, they hit it, but like you want more channels to drive inbound, I'd say just try making like low quality, record yourself with like Sendspark or Bloom. Just post that video to YouTube talking about the regulation changes and then how you help. And then as people are searching for that, they'll find you, and then that'll get you more inbound. And then you can kind of do the whole inbound led outbound thing in addition to it. That could be a terrible idea, but it's just, if I wanted to give you something that maybe could spark something else.
That's amazing. Thank you. And I've been just so heads down with outbound. It's tough to find time to do that content creation. So, but we got to make it interesting. The manufacturing space is so boring.
That's fair enough.
Well, it's just like if there's regulation changes and people are like looking for details around it, like that just might be like an opportunity. But again, like low quality, just record, hey, this is changing. This is what it means for you. This is how we help. Like less than a minute post on YouTube and just make it easy for you so you actually do it.
I like that too. Like just to tie in the subject of the show, it's like try to get the substance of that phone call into like a video and an email. Like there's clearly something you're doing right. A 20-minute cold call is absolutely absurd in the best way possible. So like there's something there. It's just a matter of like translating that to other mediums. Jordan, if you want to do me a favor too, you can email me or LinkedIn me some of your email copy. I'm happy to give you some feedback. I've run way too many email campaigns in my life, and I have a decent eye for it these days. But happy to keep helping. Jordan, thank you. Also email us so we can send you some swag. Thank you for jumping into the gauntlet. Everyone check out Tractile if you're in that space. And Jordan, thanks for joining. We appreciate you. All right. Well, fantastic. I know somebody else said, was it Jackson? I'd love to go next. We're going to do the pitch slap at the end. So if someone wants to pitch the business, pitch their business, try to get folks to book a call with them and then just get validation from the attendees. We'll give you some swag. But Bethany, let's dive into section 2. We have good stuff coming.
Okay. How much time do I have?
20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So let's get into the demo. And I'm going to share my screen again. So again, what we're going to show is first how to create AI personalized videos with Sendspark. So just like, think one video of yourself, but you're going to be able to personalize it for every person with their name and their website in the video if you'd like. And then we're going to show how to automate a lot of this process. And basically, we're going to show you how to automate all of this in, where do we go? This in HubSpot, where you're identifying everyone, qualifying ICP, listening, and sending things out. So without further ado, I'm going to go to Sendspark. And what we have here, so Sendspark, you can create like normal videos here. Like actually, like I mentioned on YouTube, if you wanted to record yourself, record your screen, post videos to YouTube, something like that, you can do all of that in the video library section. What we're going to focus on here is the dynamic video. So this is when you take one video of yourself and then you're using AI to change it for people. So let me show you how this works. You'll give a name to your campaign. We support a few different languages outside of English. So you could select the language you're using, and then based on what language you're using, we'll give you a different keyword. So in English, what you want to say is hi watermelon, or hey watermelon, hello watermelon, whatever you want, watermelon. And then watermelon is the placeholder for first name. And then we'll clone your voice and replace watermelon with your viewer's actual first name. So I'm just going to go, you could record a video here I'm just going to go ahead and use the sample video. So you'll see a preview of your video on the page. You can also preview your voice. So if like there was a lot of background noise or the clone didn't come out, you'll know before you go further. This is what this one sounds like. Hi, Bethany. Oh, sounds just like me, even though it's AI. And then you can decide whether or not you want to use a dynamic background. If it's a dynamic background, we're going to put your video of you talking over someone else's website. So like here in Ben's video, you saw he was over like the RB2B website and it's like scrolling behind him. I've also seen people use their own website here. So if you're like specifically reaching out to people after they're on your pricing page, I've seen people put their own pricing page, be like, hey, notice you on a pricing page. Like, did you have any questions? Like, these are our plans. So you can really put whatever you want as the background, just sort of fall back. So if there's anything that doesn't work, like something's going to show, you're not going to accidentally send like a broken video. Worst case, it would be whatever you put here in the link, and you can scroll down and then back up.
Does the dynamic background like drastically increase the efficacy of this? Is it like
I think it helps a lot. Well, so I'd say like yes, but depending on like how many videos you're sending out, you might not always want to do it. It's like it does dramatically increase efficacy, but you kind of have one time when you're sending it. So if you wanted to like send videos out when people are on like, you know, high intent pages, but then also when they schedule a demo, you want to send a demo confirmation. And then also you want to send a welcome video. Like I'd only probably use their website once in the journey. So they're not like, you know, thinking they already saw it before.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, definitely like huge, like saying their name, showing their website is like just a little bit of personalization goes a long way.
Yeah. In the pre-AI days, I would hold up an iPad and I would have their website open and I would like scroll through. So this is just a similar thing, right? Just trying to add some personalization.
I love it.
I like this shit. Oh man, we're doing our best, Steve. We're coming to you from the retention / RB2B retreat in Mexico. So we'll be back at the professional studio quality next week. I'm so sorry, Steve. I hope you're still enjoying. Anyway, we'll continue.
Cool. And then you can also customize the website page. So when you send it out, people are going to see a snippet in email and then they'll watch the video on the page. So if you want them to easily be able to book a meeting or take the next steps, you can customize all of this here. And you can also use other placeholders. So like first name, you know, company name, like other things here. And then you can customize the page. You can add buttons, you can embed your calendar link. We embed with a bunch of different calendar platforms. And then it goes without saying, all of this branding is customizable. So you can see in ours, it's obviously got like Sendspark's logo and our purple colors. You can change all of this, and you can also change the domain you're sending it from. A lot of people like to send it from their own actual domain. And then this can help deliverability as well, because it's nice when the links that you're sending emails from match the company domain. So you can customize all this.
Nice.
And then last step, you'll add your contacts. For the sake of demoing, I'm just going to add this manually, but I'm going to show you how you can automatically create these videos so that you're not like, you're obviously not going to be typing these names any more than you want to record videos. You want this to happen fast and in real time. So I'm going to add just us here and then hit generate. The videos generate fairly quickly. So if you do want to send it to people like right when you're on your website, it really just needs like a minute or two to generate. So you can do it pretty quick in real time. Like you'll see these are almost done processing. And then I'm going to show you how you can automatically send them in HubSpot as soon as they've loaded. So we got one here. Hi, Bethany. I just generated this video using Sendspark. So you can see that's the video, very similar to the one that Ben's sending, but up and running quickly. Any questions on like video generation or how you create the AI videos before I kind of go how you can automate all this and the email sequence in HubSpot?
So when I asked, is HubSpot the only CRM that it works with?
No, I just keep saying HubSpot because I know like RB2B has a great HubSpot integration. You can send these in a bunch of different email platforms. And you could do it like a CRM, like HubSpot, Salesforce, Close, Zoho, or even like any of these outreach platforms. Like we have good integrations with Lemless, Smart Lead, Instantly for high volume sending as well. So we try to work everywhere, but I feel like we hear of a new email platform every day. High level, yes, we do work with high level, and actually what I'm going to show next, I'm going to show in HubSpot workflows, but the exact same workflow works in high levels automation. So it's exactly the same thing. Your mouth doesn't sync with a name. So we have there's a couple options for this. I'm actually using our V1 model. The V2 model has a better lip sync. And so we just improved this. It's just in beta. And so I didn't want to get an error while demoing it live because it's got a slightly higher error rate, but we do have a better model in place that you can use. It's also cheaper for us to create the V1. So for demos, I usually just use G1s, like the V1, because I'm like, I don't want to cost Sendspark money, but you can use the V2 and get the better lip sync.
Someone also asked, speaking of the lip syncing, we do have a quite an international audience here. Are there other languages supported besides English?
Yes. So we have official support for French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, and Dutch, but we also have unofficial support for other languages where you would just say the video in the other language, in your language, and say watermelon in English. And it works a lot of the time. For the ones we've added official support for, it's actually because like they're so similar to English that like there was a little confusion, like especially German, like hello kept getting converted to hello. So I'd say you could try it in any language, even if you don't see it from the drop down.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm sure I know there's folks in kind of India area. So if you're speaking Hindi, Gujarati, Urdu, whatever you're doing, I would at least try it out. So yeah. All right, let's carry on here. We have about 13 minutes left. We'll do the pitch slap in about 10 here.
Okay, cool. Let me jump to it. Okay, so now we're gonna go to HubSpot. All right, let me just pull this up.
Dennis, how did you come up with watermelon? I had heard that like people lip syncing will just say watermelon over and over, and it sounds like they're like matches. Is that kind of the anecdote that you took, or a specific reason?
That's it. Yeah, watermelon makes it look like you're saying anything. So actually the lip sync model that we have that I was showing you is really new as of like a month ago. And so we weren't changing the lips before, and watermelon makes it look like you're saying anything. So we started there. Now that we have the lip sync model, I guess we can make it more flexible where you don't have to say watermelon. But now I feel like it's just kind of fun. So
good word, good fruit.
Okay, so for the automation side of things, so this is like a workflow that we have. I actually have this running in Clay. So this I made just for the demo, but it's the same concept, but that's just why it's not on right now. So what you would do is the filter criteria would be the member of your RB2B list that you created with all those filters to narrow down to your ICP. And then you could also have something like visited the pricing page or like whatever you wanted as a secondary trigger if you wanted to do that step too. So you could either email it to everyone, or you could be like, nope, I'm going to wait till they've done the pricing page, or they've been to our website 3 times, or they have 2+ associated contacts, whatever you're using as that step. You would just add that to the triggers to get people to enroll in your workflow. For the people who have high level, exact same thing, right? In high level, just using their builder. And then here's my opt-out clause. So instead of just automatically sending people in a sequence, ping Slack and say that you're going to send them in the sequence, and give yourself a second to check and make sure everything looks good. And I'd say keep this up probably forever, but like really keep an eye on it over the next few weeks so you can make sure that you're not like sending this to the wrong people. Just let yourself track what's going on. And HubSpot has a native Slack integration. So this is easy. And then you can add a delay. It could be 15 minutes. It could be 2 hours. It could be a day, whatever you want. But just enough time so that you have time to see the Slack notification and change if needed. And then Sendspark has a workflow action here where you can add a video as a step. So this is one that we have like in going. Then the way you would add this, you would just install the Sendspark HubSpot app, and then you can click Sendspark and then create dynamic video, and it'll let you like do this. And basically what you're doing is you're taking the data from HubSpot. So like first name, email, company name, job title, and then you're just pushing it into Sendspark in these fields. So instead of typing manually, it's exactly the same. You're just saying which HubSpot fields should map to which Sendspark fields. and then you're creating the video through automation. So this is like a huge time saver because you don't have to go in and type, and you definitely don't have to record. You just, whenever they're qualified, you're creating the video. And then you would just enroll them in your sequence, which I set this up in HubSpot sequences. But again, like this kind of process would work with other tools. You might be wondering how to make sure the video actually appears in the sequence. And the way that this works is you'll have your sequence, which is, these are exactly the same emails that I showed you earlier. In the email with the video, what you can do is when you're editing the email the first time, you go to your Sendspark video, click share campaign, and then search for HubSpot or whatever email automation platform you're using, and just select this button, and it copies a dynamic snippet to your clipboard. So that way you just have this placeholder here in email. And as you enroll different contacts, they're automatically going to see the video that was made for them, the same way that you could use like hi first name. So it's basically like adding a dynamic property in here. So you have your hi first name, and then you have the video. And then if you were to add someone to it, like let's say I wanted to enroll, I think I made one for Adam earlier. You can see that like as contacts get enrolled, then it'll say like, hey, Adam, and it'll show that video that's made for them.
That's super cool. Do you ever do like multiple videos per sequence where you have like an intro video and then a follow-up video, or do you? Yeah.
We do. And usually what we do is like the first one or the one earlier in the sequence will be AI. And then the one later is more like a case study video. Like we'll go through, we have a bunch of videos that kind of talk through like how certain customers got good results. So we'll do those ones later. And then for that, we don't even add like AI to it. It'll just be like, oh, here, here's a case study of someone similar to you doing good results.
Gotcha. Can you, this is purely my own curiosity, can you embed these videos into like a LinkedIn conversation or message?
You can send them in LinkedIn, but it's a link. So it's not like fully embedded, but it still looks good and converts well. Like some of our LinkedIn outreach sequences have like 20 to 30% reply rates, which would be insane in email, but like LinkedIn's high converting. You just have fewer options, right? Because you can only send 250 messages or 250 connection requests a week.
Yeah. I've seen those videos, the voicemails, anything that's not text, that's just a different medium. It's kind of crazy the lift it gets these days. Okay. We're gonna do the pitch slap in just a second. Bethany, did you want to wrap with anything?
No, thanks everyone so much for watching. Definitely like add me on LinkedIn, look for Bethany Stachenfeld, and let me know if I can help with anything, especially if you're setting this up and need any help. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Bethany and the Sendspark team are killer on LinkedIn. So follow her, follow Ben Bright too. He's awesome. It's time for the pitch slap, everybody. Does anybody want to try to book a demo with the audience here? We're also going to run a live poll. Okay, it's going to be a yes or no, just a simple binary poll. Yes means you like the product and you would be somewhat interested. It doesn't mean you have to go buy it. No is no's no. I don't think I have to explain that. If you get above 66%, and we'll send you a swag box. If you get below 60% but above 33%, we'll send you a t-shirt. If you get below that, we'll give you a wave goodbye. If you are international, you're in India or somewhere, we'll give you some RB2B credits, some community access, a bunch of good stuff there. So would anybody like to do the pitch slap? I know, was it Jackson who said he was ready for the...
Ian raises his hand first.
Okay, yeah, whoever raises their hand first is... All right. Bringing them up?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to start the timer. This is not like the Unfuck My Startup section, less advice. This is just pitch the team, book a meeting, and get some swag and show us what you got. So we're promoting someone here. Ian, what's up, Ian? How you doing?
What's up? Great. Thanks for the opportunity.
Hey, thanks for coming on. if you could do me a favor before we start the timer, if you could drop in your URL into the chat so everybody can check out your website while you're pitching. That will be
okay. Let me just close the door here.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so quick, that's a little bit different from my side. So actually, we haven't launched yet, so I'm actually not looking to pitch in the sense, but just sort of explain. So yeah, the website's in the chat. So we are building currently and about to launch a platform called investorrating.io. The idea is that we want to provide ratings on how it is to work with different types of investors, VC funds and other types of strategic investors, whatever. The background is the following. My co-founder founded a HR tech startup before, raised funds, exited, and over the almost 10 years that he ran that company, he said the hardest thing for him was fundraising, because there were a few times where he was very close to dying, or very close to being out of run rate, basically. So he had this idea, and our goal now is to collect as many reviews as we can from people who have raised funds, and we're going to build a platform. You can imagine this a little bit like Glassdoor, for those who know it, or Trustpilot, but focused on rating investors. So right now we have a questionnaire on our website. We're currently rebuilding the website, so you can go take a look, but it will change soon. And we're looking to get as many founders who have had experience either talking to funds or maybe even raising funds to give reviews on the website, because obviously we need a database. I would say we need at least around 200-300 reviews. We have about 50 right now before we can actually launch.
Nice. And what kind of investors are we talking about? Are we talking about angel investors, venture capital, big institutions?
All of it. All of it. So mainly venture capital, I think, is the easiest place to start. But you can rate an angel investor. You can rate a venture capital. We ask for a link. If it's an angel investor, we ask for a link to their LinkedIn. If it's a venture capital or another type of strategic investor, I used to work for an insurance company. So like an insurance company, we ask just for a link to their website. And then there are a bunch of questions about how the experience was with them, communication, etc. But any type of investor.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Ian, thank you.
There we go.
Coming up, jumping in. We're going to send you some stuff. We'll reach out to you.
I'm actually in Switzerland, so I'm not quite sure if that how that works out, but we can
we'll figure it out. All right.
Yeah.
Message me on LinkedIn, all right?
Yep, we'll do.
We'll get you something good.
We'll do. All right. Cheers.
Well, hey,
thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. And folks, with 2 minutes left, I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank Bethany for putting together like a crazy cool slideshow, workflows, an incredibly actionable show. Thanks so much, Bethany. Thanks everyone, including Bethany, for doing the time adjustment. Again, we are at the RB2B/retention offsite in Riviera Maya, Mexico. So if the studio was not up to par, Steve, then I apologize deeply, and we'll be back to our professional quality next week. I know Bethany's was coming through loud and clear, which is great. Next week, Adam will be back, and we have Samantha McKenna. She is the CEO, founder of Sam Sales Consulting. She's a LinkedIn brand ambassador, former LinkedIn exec, has broken literally every sales record you could think of. Has as big or a bigger following than Adam on LinkedIn, is a total sales master, and she is going to show us 3 amazing specific outreach strategies that are working in 2025. So hopefully she can match Bethany's level of actionable, tactical, helpful workflows. Bethany, you're the best. We are such big fans. Thank you so much. And folks, this will go live tomorrow on YouTube to 9 a.m. Central, and follow Bethany on LinkedIn. Check out Sendspark. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Cheers. Thanks so much. Thanks, Pete.